Hi, thank you for having me here. Very pleased to be here. And today I'm going to share a little bit about our insights, creating a fashion company here in Thailand, and what growth means to us. Okay. So one of the interesting things is, when I moved here from the States, I'm Korean American, I really thought about where would be the next part of the world where the digital transformation is going to happen. And based on the research that I was doing, everywhere I was looking, it was very clear that Southeast Asia was really the next big place for digital growth. If you look at some of the research that's been done, and I think we can also feel it, right? The digital economy in Southeast Asia is to grow from $174 billion to over $700 billion, close to $1 trillion over the next 9 years. And what this means is that everybody's lives are changing, right? Previously, when we were hungry, what did we do? We went to a restaurant. Now we use one of the apps to maybe order. When it comes to checking on your finances, you use an app instead of going to the bank. So the transformation is happening very quickly, and you can see from here the scale of that transformation. I think the next thing to note is that the digital transformation is happening across all the different industries. So whether it's my industry, which is clothing, footwear and accessories, or beauty, consumer electronics, household appliances, if you compare where we are today here in Southeast Asia to, say, China, you will see that there is still so much growth to be had. And I think it's very forward-looking for a company like PTTOR to think about what that growth might look like and to encapsulate all the different segments. One more very interesting statistic is that more and more, every day people are using multiple apps, multiple applications. Before, maybe you had one or two apps that we're using, but today, the average customer uses 7.9 applications for shopping. And that's not just in Thailand, it's also in Singapore, Indonesia, Malaysia. So more and more people are finding that the applications that they're using need to fulfill very specifically the needs that they have as a consumer. One more very interesting fact is that through COVID, 1 in 3 digital merchants believe that they would not have survived COVID if it were not for the digital platforms, right? Now looking back at it, right, I think sometimes we have a short memory. But in fact, if it were not for the connectivity that we get from e-commerce, from internet, COVID would have been very different. Can you imagine what COVID would have been like if we didn't have all the different digital connections that we do, right? And I think we take that for granted. But I don't think the merchants do. I think they understand the importance of digital. One more thing to note is that 50% of merchant sales are to come from online, right? And this is a trend that is not specific to the market. It's just what we asked to the merchants. What do you think is going to happen? They say, I believe 50% of my sales will come from online in the next 5 years. So just to sum up, $1 trillion digital economy in Southeast Asia by 2030, 350 million shoppers online, 7.9 apps per user, and 50% of all sales to come from the digital economy in the next 5 years. I think these are big, exciting numbers And I'm very, very happy that we're all here to think about what this means for our businesses. So, a little bit about Pomelo. We are Southeast Asia's first and leading omni-channel fashion platform. We're based here in Bangkok. We were started here. And when we think about our mission, it's about self-expression. It's about being confident. It's about showing your style, right? And the important thing is that we felt like we could do it through social media, through vertical integration, through software, bring new ideas to the fashion industry in a very dynamic market. So let's talk a little bit about our journey. So we started as an online brand with just a website, pomelofashion.com, back in 2013. And from there, we went on to open stores. I think this is a really interesting story because every year we do a customer survey, all our customers. And in 2015, at the end of the survey, we asked one question, what do you want to see from Pomelo? And it's an open text box. And it said, the number one response was physical stores. And I was like, oh, surely we must wait. We just have to be patient. Everybody's moving online. As an e-commerce company CEO, I was like, just wait. Next year, we asked the same question, what would you like to see? Physical stores. And I said, everyone, it's okay. We are an e-commerce company. We're going to wait. Next year, what do you want? Physical stores. So I said, okay, let's open a physical store, right? And from there, we started our omni-channel journey because ultimately, it's not about the channel. It's about the experience. It's about what can you do across all the different customer touch points to make the experience better. And that's what I learned from that survey and our experience going down the route of retail. And it's also very profitable, physical retail. So I think it's a very good learning for us in the digital space, right? When you can mix the physical and the digital together, you can build a better experience for your customers. In 2019, we started our journey to becoming a platform. COVID accelerated that journey. Today, we have over 700 brands on the platform. And in 2021, we introduced a new business line, which is Prism, to help fashion brands in the ecosystem succeed in their digital journeys. So, what does this mean for us? I think COVID has been somewhat of a redefining moment for the fashion industry, right? But at the same time, I think people understand now that self-expression fashion is something much deeper than just going out and seeing people. It's about who you are. And one of the great things is our integrated model of brand, platform, omni-channel, and services has consistently outgrown the industry, right? And this is something that we always think about, multi-vector growth. Can you get growth from multiple places at the same time? Okay, so talking a little bit about the future-ready business model. So here you have our app, which was built fully in-house. And we have two sets of products. We have our brand, and then we have other brands on Pomelo. And finally, we have our services. So we integrate it all through the app. And then we have our channels. We have e-commerce, we have Tap, Try, Buy, and we have retail. Tap, Try, Buy is our value-added services where you can try anything that you want in the comfort of your home or at one of our stores, right? I have one memory when I first shopped online. I was living in New York, working in the finance industry, and I wanted to get a raincoat. So I go online, I bought a raincoat, and I get it in the mail. And it's like 2 times my size. It's so big, right? And then I go back and I check the return policy. It says, no, returns only within 7 days. but I was so busy I forgot. So every day I open the closet. That raincoat is a reminder not to buy online again from that website. And that's why we introduced Tap, Try, Buy. One of the things that I wanted to talk about is that, technology can really help with any kind of decision that we have to make as a business. And as a fashion company, many people think, okay, it must be about, how you perceive the trend, what you think the style should be, right? But in fact, even within fashion, there are millions of data points that you can reference to make better decisions. And I think that's one of the secret sauces of Pomelo, right? As the CEO, I'm not making fashion decisions. The data is helping us make the fashion decisions, and this is a very important point. Okay, so how are we different? We are a fashion-first company. Our user interface or user experience is specifically for her. And just like OR, we focus on inclusive communities. We want our customers to be confident. We want our community to grow. And lastly, we are very, very focused on sustainability as a company. So let's talk a little bit about expansion. Though we started here in Thailand, we now have presence in Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, and the Philippines, as well as an office in China. And this extensive geographic presence really allows us to understand what are the needs of the customers across Southeast Asia. And I can tell you that the needs are the same, but the solutions have to be customized. And I think that really is the key to success. The needs are the same, but the solutions need to be customized. Today we have over 700 brand partners on Pomelo. We have great international brands, but more importantly, we have some of the most exciting local brands from Instagram, from TikTok, from Facebook on our platform. And what really inspires me every day are these young entrepreneurs. Oftentimes in their 20s, they are building their own brand online with their friends. They're coming up with amazing designs. They have millions of followers, right? And they do it on a shoestring budget. And I think that's a very good lesson for all of us, because some of these young entrepreneurs, they're building these businesses so quickly with very few resources, and we want to support them in their journey. I'll talk a little bit about Prism. Now, this to me was a really important growth opportunity, because many of the brands during COVID, especially in the fashion industry, they realized, wait a second, all of my stores are shut. What do I do now? Right? So you say, okay, I'm going to go online, go on a platform, I'm going to list, put my product online. And then it didn't sell, the products didn't sell. And they asked, why is it not selling? I listed my product online. It's not enough to list, you have to market. You have to build your identity online. You have to create a presence on social media. So those are the types of things that we help with within the industry. One other thing that I would like to note is the trading and merchandising piece. So for many of the small brands who are growing very rapidly, one of the biggest issues they have is, how do I scale? These are small teams, 5, 10 people, amazing at creating a strong community of followers and customers. But when it comes to scaling production, growing 5x, 10x, those are the things that we can help with. So we've introduced this business as well. Okay, lastly, I want to talk a little bit about technology, right? It's a buzzword. Sometimes it's unclear what we're talking about, so I just want to break it down a little bit, what technology means for Pomelo. So the first is on the top left, which is really about our product. So we have a software system that we created that allows us to integrate with our factories. And also our staff use it. So we do everything from the design, sampling, material sourcing, factory and vendor selection, order quantity predictions, QC, logistics documentation generation, right? So that whole process we've tried to automate, and that allows us to move very quickly. The second is the personalization engine. So this one we work specifically with Amazon in the US, and we're the first company in Southeast Asia to work with them. So we use personalization engines so that during the 5-10 minutes that you're on our app, we show you the products that you want. The third is really the omni-channel experience, so tap, try, buy at home, as well as the online to offline, offline to online experiences. One really interesting fact that I want to mention here is that over 30% of all of our online customers come from our stores. So it's really the best opportunity to integrate. And lastly, it's about demand forecasting. One of the biggest opportunities in fashion is, can you match your supply to your demand? Right? Because the margins are very high, but you have to be good at managing your inventory. So that's the last piece. And those four are really our core technology pillars. Supply chain, personalization, discovery, omni-channel, and lastly, demand forecasting. One of the very important things, I think, is that during COVID, the staff, our team, they realize that they can work from home and be productive, right? And I think this is both an opportunity and a challenge. But what we focus on right now is really creating an experience that attracts the best talent. As you all know, if you have great people, you're going to build a great company and a great product. And that's really the key. So what are we focused on? We're focused on inclusivity. Over 80% of our workforce is women, even in tech, and I'm really proud of that. The second is a dynamic hybrid workplace. So we are fully flexible, but we have something called the Pomelo Work Week, where on Thursdays and Fridays you come in and we solve problems, we mingle. But what I found is that today's generation, they want to know why, the why behind coming to the office. That's something we try to do. The third is learning. Learning is really key. And lastly, we want to make sure that every single thing that we do makes a difference, right? And because we're still a small organization, that feeling is very important to making sure that we attract the best talent. Okay, so thank you very much for your time. Hopefully that was helpful. Thank you.